Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another book review. As you could probably hear, I have a little bit of a scratchy throat, but it's nothing too terrible. I was able to catch it before it became anything worse. I've taken some zinc and just a boatload of vitamin C to nip it in the bud before it gets any worse than it already is. It's really not that bad, but I'm already having some productiveness with it, so pretty soon I'll sound normal. Anyway, I read a very short book called Numbers Rule Your World. It's about statistics and probability. And I took one course in finite math, but I had to drop it because my instructor was not the greatest instructor in the world, and he kind of belittled people, made them feel like they were stupid, which doesn't help in math classes, and I can tell you that from experience. It talks about how Disney Imagineers I shouldn't say tweak, I said tweak their queue lines, and how certain people with fast passes get around the park and see more easier. This also talks about SATs and the problem with E. coli and spinach, and they were saying that you can't always assume that because spinach is tainted that it would cause E. coli, or maybe it was spinach that had been in contact with another leafy green vegetable and it had spread. So you can't always say that it's the common element in the case there that they mentioned. So you have to keep your mind open. You can't always say that there's one cause to a certain outbreak of whatever virus. I liked the part on the SATs. I thought that was fascinating. I've taken the SAT before, and they had said that there are certain questions that certain races were able to answer better than others. And also went into gender barriers, whether males would be able to answer a certain test question better than females or not. This talks about, yeah, it goes on to talk about SAT tests again. Oh, I just talked about that. FICO scores. Oh, yeah, doping, which that was another interesting chapter. It talks about athletes and doping scandals, or the false negative, whether it would be physical false negative or chemical false negative. Let's see. Just trying to think what else was in here. Oh, winning the lottery, of course. Lie detector tests and how numbers are important in discussing. Does it? I'm already done. I'll be right there, okay? Yeah, I got it. I'll be back. I'll be coming back. Sorry about that. I had a problem that I had to do earlier, and I was just wondering how I had done on it. Basically, it just talks about, oh yeah, jet crashes. But it's really just a new way to look at numbers and how practical they are, how they determine possible behaviors, and it's actually, they are a good way to predict future behaviors, but they can't predict the cause. Not oftentimes can they do that. That's up for debate, and he talks about that quite a bit. Kaiser Fung does. And it's really a very intriguing book. And I never thought that I would enjoy it, but it's really one of those books that you would think, oh, this looks really dry and boring, but it's not. And it just gives a very layman's background into how important numbers are and how to take numbers for their worth rather than just shoving them aside and thinking that they're really worthless because they're not. Um, I'm not really sure what else to say about this book other than I really enjoyed reading it, which was a complete surprise for me. And for all of you who are into numbers, this is definitely a must read, and you probably would understand a lot better than I did because I'm getting to the point where I am beginning to understand a lot better, but it really wasn't my major. I'm a Bachelor of Arts, minor IT. Uh, I had to go back into mathematics when I was in um, college this time around, trying to get my EKG certificate. And I learned quite a bit, but unfortunately, a lot of um, the other math had gone kind of by the wayside. But I could still use uh, my ability, the ability I have with counting and addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. I can do that. That's not too bad. I mean, that's the more practical stuff. The algebra, that's if you're measuring, and that really isn't used too much on a regular basis unless you're in architecture or contracting or blueprint making. Then it becomes extremely practical and useful. But I like books like this because it challenges me and it gives me something um, to shoot for as far as what I want to do, what I want to learn, how I want to help people. Uh, I just want to be able to uh, be be aware of trends and what those trends actually mean, and it actually speaks a lot about us as a society. And the truest form of science is just observation of people and what they do. It's anthropology, basically. It's all the other branches of science come from anthropology. And I know I'm kind of getting off track there, but statistics and probability just try to determine um, the progress of predicting the future for whatever it is that they're looking for, and there are always ways of doing that, and they just go through tons and tons of data just to do that, and it's a lot of work. But for people like this, I truly do doff my hat, and I wish I had that understanding that they do, because I certainly don't even comprehend or begin to comprehend uh, just how impressive being able to do that kind of math is, which I would love to. The only thing I understood from my finite math class was symmetry, which is a geometric concept. Geometry is just another branch of math. It's just math for people that are more visual, and those of us who can grasp a concept if it's solid in our mind's eye, because we can see it. It's like if you give me a cylinder and tell me how much is going to fill this cylinder, I can picture that in my mind. If you tell me, well, pi r squared, yeah, I know what that is because I can picture a circle in my mind. I can do that. Uh, Even things like the golden ratio, even though that's it's way high. Uh, it's more aesthetic. It's actually aesthetic, philosophical, and practical. I mean, it's got all three things combined, and it goes into theoretical physics as well. But I love the golden ratio just because it makes me think. It's found everywhere in nature. I have a book about it, which I'll be reading in the future. But it's just one of those things that really gives me just the utmost respect for the way the universe is put together. And I'm glad that we have these things that help us comprehend and contemplate and discern, determine, define everything that we have on this planet. But there are things that numbers just can't do, and let alone spirituality. It's just there are things that you cannot put a number value to, or even put some kind of esoteric uh, quantification on it, because it just doesn't. There's nothing that can define it. So that goes into the realm of the unknown, for lack of better terminology. But that's how I define things. That's how I keep everything um, separated into little categories. So that's just me. I don't know if anybody of you out there do that, but this is a good book for those of you out there who are intrigued about the notion of statistics and probability. And it's not dry reading at all. It's very short. It's only 200 plus, and you can finish this book in a day. It actually took me a couple days because I was at work, but had I been sitting with it normally, I probably would have gotten through it in about a day. But certainly is a good read and very interesting at that.